Okay, okay, here's part two. Um, so I arrived Thursday morning, or actually Thursday afternoon to get my hotel, and that was pretty easy. That was actually one of the um, easiest hotels to ever get a room into. Like everybody was just so friendly, and that's awesome. And I met my friend Melissa, so we could get our room, and we actually got it earlier than the check-in time, so that's cool. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to, sorry, my dog's in the back. Um, so we get the room, and then I had to think of things to do earlier. So I was gonna go see Black Panther, but here's my mistake was I forgot that there was like a lot of buzz for Black Panther. Because I always see, because I'm also a Marvel fan. So, um, and this is my dumbass mistake. I forgot to order the tickets online earlier before. So when I was looking for tickets, there was none except for like the handicap seats, but then they said there was no seats. But then eventually, and like all the times are like at midnight. I'm like, I can't do that because I'm already dead ass tired, and I don't want to see it at midnight. I want to see it at like 7, so I can, um, you know, make stage door. So, and then eventually, like a seat did pop up, and I got it. So and I saw Black Panther. And by the way, really good film. I thought it was fun. A lot of funny moments. Everybody was excellent. Um, it was a fun standalone film. And if you like Marvel movies and you just like what that's all about, you're gonna enjoy it. So that's like the mini. And there's a lot better reviews about it than I'm gonna give you. It's just I love the little sister in the movie. She there was like another reviewer that called her the gadget girl, but I didn't care. She was awesome. She was so adorable, and I was like everything she did was so adorable. I'm like, oh my god, I want to protect you. Um, but and I thought Jordan or Michael B. Jordan, sorry, Michael B. Jordan was a good bad guy as the Killmonger. Um, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But it's definitely good and it's definitely worth the hype. And I know some people didn't like it because it's like full of memes, and I'm like, who cares? It's a Marvel film. They're gonna put in silly stuff anyway. They always do. Come on. And if you follow me on Letterboxd, I already put it in my ranking. I believe it's in now my top 10 of my in that ranking. Of course, Iron Man will always be my number one within the Marvel. But it was excellent. Go see it, and it's fun and excellent action scenes, like actual good action scenes, which is kind of like a lacking thing with Marvel films. With a few of them, with the exception of like Thor Ragnarok and Iron Man and others, but this isn't like a Marvel thing. This is just like part of the Avengers. Sorry, but anyway, saw that. So after seeing the film, um, um, because where my hotel was and where AMC theaters was, the Kennedy Center was in between, so it wasn't that far. But I did get lost a little bit because um, the roads, I swear to God, for Washington D.C. were created by cats. Like they just put a tracker on a cat, and they're like, okay, go design a map, and that's Washington D.C. Because I've never seen roads, not even downtown New York City, which that does get confusing and you can get lost, is as bad. Washington D.C. is a whole nother animal, and oh my God, bad. So I waited there till the show ended because I've also learned, like, because the night before when my friend Jen saw it, it's a 3-hour show because there was somebody on Facebook saying, oh, it's just like a concert staging. So I was worried that it was, I mean, okay, we get to see people sing, but then I heard it was kind of like a half and half thing from like various sources. But then I found out it was 3 hours. I'm like, oh, we're getting a full show, so we're gonna have a good time, and it's 3 hours, which is also a little bit worrying because sometimes when things are 3 hours, it feels 6. But So I waited, because the Black Panther was about 2.5 hours long. Saw the, so it ended at 9:30, so it took me about 10, 15 minutes just because I got a little bit lost. Going from, good thing I had like a hand map. If anybody knows me, I don't have a smartphone, so I have to always draw the maps. Kind of sad. Um, so went there, waited for a long while because I was there for an hour. So here I am sitting by myself, and I was trying to get into the Wi-Fi for Kennedy Center. Then I figured out on the last day that I was there how to get into the Kennedy Center internet. So I felt like an idiot. So I was there sitting there by myself like a crazy person, and probably somebody's like, "Who's this lost child?" Because sometimes that does happen. Um, so eventually, my friend Jen and my friend Melissa came out, and then um, that's when we started doing meet and greets with people. So um, I got to meet Ramin, and oh my God, is he gorgeous? He's so hot. He's so nice, and we got to meet Bradley Dean and Bryce, who's adorable, and but um and that led into a little bit of a controversy thing too, because I couldn't remember his name. Like, I'm terrible at remembering names. Like, I'm just terrible. But it was Bradley Dean, and when we were talking briefly with him, he said that Raul's not coming out because he has a cold. So we're like, oh, so if he has a cold, and just because the weather for the first 2 days for Washington D.C. was like really warm, just like the rest of the Northeast was. But then the cold front came in, um, so the temperatures dropped from like 60s to 30s. So we kind of knew that, because that happened last time with Broadway Bear Soul. He wasn't meeting anybody because it's cold, and who wants to meet people when it's cold? You don't want to freeze and whatever. Um, so we kind of figured that since he has a cold, um, he's not coming out at all, and especially if he's starting to get sick. Because a friend noticed that he was like gargling water, and he was doing this. He's like massaging his throat and like his vocal cords, and like every time he was sitting down. So yeah, but we got to meet other people. Ruthie didn't come out that night, but she did come out like other nights, which bless her for it. So that was the Thursday, and I did. Oh, and I got to meet Danny Strong, and oh my God, that dude is so short. Like, I'm 4'11", and he was barely standing taller than me, and maybe like I bet he got a kick out of that because that like he was shorter than my brother, and my brother is short. But I got to take a picture with him. I was like, and I didn't know what to say because I'm like inside. I'm like, oh my God, that's Jonathan from Buffy. Like, I actually met somebody from Buffy, and I was like just fangirling like on the inside, but I'm like trying to keep it professional. But I'm like, and thank you, Jen, for taking the pictures of me with Ramin and Danny, because every time I hand somebody I have a point and shoot. It's kind of special, uh, and the pictures don't always come out great. Like, when I take them by myself with the pictures, they come out fine, but I know what to do with the camera. It has weird, funky buttons and whatever. But thankfully, I have friends that do this for me. I know I should get a smartphone, but cell phones need to be the prices need to be cheaper, so they're not, so I don't have one. So this is part 2. I'll do a part 3 because it's getting long.